Hey guys, Claire here, and this is going to be a quick video talking about the start of Sussex season. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you have seen photos and videos of Harry and Meghan attending the Ripple of Hope Award in New York City, and might I just take a moment to talk about how fabulous Meghan looks. Her face, her skin, the glow. I mean, I love her dress. It's beautifully, impeccably tailored white custom Louis Vuitton dress, black pumps, and a black little purse. And it's beautiful. But her face, guys, that glow, that Meghan sparkle, how does she do it? She's 41 years old, and her skincare routine, I mean, she needs to drop the secrets because we really need to know. Now, of course, Harry looks as handsome as ever, very gentlemanly, as always, hands always holding on to Meghan. And I don't know if you guys saw the live stream of people being interviewed before Harry and Meghan showed up. And of course, you know, the press asking everybody, what do you think about Harry and Meghan? Harry and Meghan. Everybody asking about Harry and Meghan. And everyone saying very complimentary things. And I kept asking Alec Baldwin over and over again. And he just keeps making it clear that he loves Harry and Meghan. The press, my God, they're so messy. But it was so great to see them out and about, being so well received. You see the crowds in New York City welcoming them. It's just a wonderful night. Now, I say it's Sussex season because we've got a lot of Sussex-related content. You know, we just had the last episode of Archetypes. We just saw the trailers 1 and 2 drop for the Almost Here Harry and Meghan Docuseries on Netflix. And now we're seeing them in New York City. I think on the 8th, the documentary is going to be released. And of course, you know, the royal reporters are losing their minds and the palace is continuing to leak like a sieve. And it's interesting to watch the royal reporters running around insisting that they are not briefed by the palace, that there are no leaks and there are no planted stories, even though there are countless articles and videos of so many of them talking about being briefed, talking about having direct access to the palace. And some of them even openly admitting a lot of the leaks came from Kensington Palace.
And obviously, it's so much easier for them to blame anything uncomfortable on racism, rather than actually address the fact that much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
And that's the interesting thing about these people. It sort of reminds me of the glee that they took in revealing just how much Meghan was bullied by the Kensington Palace staff, you know, the nasty names they would call her, and the way that they would treat her. So when they came up with the bullying accusation, you know, the only people who are swayed by that are people who are already in the anti-Meghan camp, you know, but anyone else with common sense or anyone who's been paying attention, it didn't translate because we have seen the countless articles of them just being so happy to share with the world what Meghan is going through. So that backfired, and this as well will backfire. I mean, we have Camilla Tominey, who loves to lie. I mean, there's a reason Camilla Tominey is a liar trends quite frequently on Twitter. I mean, that happens often. I feel out of all of the royal reporters, I see the hashtags for her pop up every few months, which is odd. I would think that there would be more hashtags about somebody like Dan Wooten or Angela Levin. But Camilla Tominey is a liar trends quite often. But we've heard countless stories and anecdotes from her saying that she has a direct line of access to Kensington Palace.
We were getting briefings that all was not well with the relationship between William and Harry, Meghan and Kate, and the relationship between Harry and Meghan and the royal household.
And of course, we know that she was the one to break the Kate make Meghan cry lie. And I think someone had shown like a receipt of her basically saying, you know, I don't have Meghan's number, but I have Kate's, or was it Carol Middleton, Kate's mom? Like, so there are a lot of breadcrumbs to prove otherwise.
Some of the royal households have been leaking on the other royal households, like Meghan and Harry.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they can deny it all they like till they're blue in the face, but there's been an awful lot of leaking, particularly from Kensington Palace, about how things were developing.
I mean, there's even like tweets and stuff from Rebecca English saying, you know, oh, she's on her way to a palace briefing. And we know that when you look through all of the articles that she's written, there are so many incendiary stories written about Harry and Meghan, particularly Meghan, that has been openly credited to unnamed palace sources, aka aides and courtiers of the palace. There's even that Palace Confidential show that's done with the Daily Mail or Daily Fail folks that has on numerous occasions said that if you were to hear the things that are said about Meghan or the way that they talk about her, it's quite frightful.
The way that Meghan is spoken about is quite frightening. Yeah. I mean,
please, she's gone.
Yeah.
When you say aides, you mean
aides to William and Kate and other members of the royal family.
Right? These are palace aides and courtiers who have for years openly briefed and planted stories about Harry and Meghan, particularly Meghan. So it's interesting now that you're seeing, okay, there's going to be a focus of that, of the leaking and planting of stories from the palace to the press. Now they're complaining and saying, well, that's not true. So which is it? Were you lying all that time? Were you just pulling these stories out of your butt? So it's either you're a liar, you're lying then, or you're lying now. Which is it? And it's not like the culture of leaking isn't known. It's not like it's something that's new. This has been happening a long time ago.
And I have to say, the briefings that you're talking about there, I received them as well.
I mean, let's think of the mess of the War of the Whales between Charles and Diana. Leaking. It's the Windsor way.
They were asked by officials and the rest of the family to put thoughts down on paper. They said, look, it leaks if we do that, we don't want to do that. They did it. It was immediately leaked to the Sun, so they thought, you know, hang it, we're going to have our, statement anyway. So
I, for one, cannot wait for that Netflix documentary, and I hope, and I'm hopeful that Harry and Meghan would really, don't hold back. Put those points out there. Provide the receipts. I think it was like one of those social media accounts. I can't remember where, and I can't remember the account holder, but she was basically saying, if you're gonna throw some punches, if you're gonna say things and make accusations, throw those punches or get out of the ring. With the situation with the Oprah Winfrey interview, and they talked about their experiences, and let's talk about, someone having conversations and concerns about Archie, but not naming the name. And the British media takes these little openings and twists it. So I'm hoping that they're not going to leave much room for things to be twisted. If you're going to say it, mean it, provide your receipt, and move along. Because as we have seen throughout the years, the palace and the press, they're not holding back. They're not holding back at all. And I don't know. A couple of us were having a conversation about that. And for some people are like, well, I hope Harry, he goes all in and he just throws in the towel at them, burn the bridge. And I don't understand why he didn't do that for the Oprah interview. And in my mind, I'm thinking it could be maybe he was kind of holding back because of Queen Elizabeth. Remember when they taped the Oprah interview, Elizabeth and Philip were still here with us. So maybe he was holding back on their behalf. Or maybe them doing the Oprah interview was in hopes that the palace would call off their guard dogs, their attack dogs. But as we can see, that didn't happen. So only time will tell what will be revealed in the docuseries, and I'll be watching every step of the way. Maybe I'll do a video on my thoughts of it after I've watched it in its entirety. It's official, y'all. Archetypes has officially won the People's Choice Award for Pop Podcast of 2022. Congratulations to Meghan, Archwell Audio, and to all the Meghan stans and squatties out there who has voted for the podcast. We did it, y'all.
Has that changed your view of the British royal family?
Not at all.
Why?
Because I don't care about the royal family like other people do.
Do you think colonialism has caused a problem with racism in the royal family?
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting Sussex season. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.